What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the We Rising Suns podcast, the show to help men rediscover what it means to be a man and help men reclaim masculinity. Welcome back to the show. My name is Remy Dokiri. I am the host for the show, and welcome back. Today's episode is going to be about questions all men need to ask themselves. Now, I've been thinking about a show like this for a few weeks, but I'd accidentally lost all the material for the show, all the questions I had, all my notes and everything. So I kind of just given up on it, but I recently just come across all these questions again. I finally found my notebook full of podcast ideas, and this one was in there, and I decided why not do this one. I was already going to do it. So these are questions that I think all men should ask themselves. I've also added to this list while taking advice from other men, other friends or family members, and I think these are really good information. I think you guys are really going to like this episode. So maybe I'd say take some notes and, apply some of these things to your life. These aren't all questions that I wrote. These are some of the questions that some of my friends or other men have wrote to help them become more aware of their life or more aware of what it means to be a man. So let's get straight into this episode. All right. Coming in at number 1 is, what would my life be like if I stopped lying to myself, stepped up, and actually did the things that I need to do? This is not only a big one for people in our modern society, but also men in general. I feel as if a lot of men lie to themselves, and I feel as if usually that's when it's stepping into a role as a man, whether that's stepping into the role as a father, whether that's stepping into the role of a protector, or being a big brother, or being a provider, or whatever it is. I feel as if a lot of men lie to themselves and say that I'm not good enough to be a good father. I'm not strong enough to be a good father. I'm not strong enough to be a protector. I'm not brave enough to be a protector. I don't have the means to provide. And I feel as if a lot of men do this because they're afraid to take on that role. They don't know how. And a lot of men, especially in today's society, don't have strong men or just men in general to show them how to be this. It's no wonder why a lot of men back down from their roles of being a father, protector, provider, a brother, or whatever it is. It's because they don't have people to show them how to do that. And because they don't know how to do that, and they don't have that example before them, they have to blaze that trail. And a lot of times they're scared that they're going to mess it up or that they're going to do it wrong. So they might as well not try at all. They're going to lie to themselves, say, I'm not good enough to do this. But it needs to be done. It needs to be done by somebody. Someone needs to blaze the trail. And if you do it wrong, then the next person behind you is going to realize your mistakes, and they're going to be able to adjust just a little bit. And if they do it wrong, the person behind you will be able to go down that same trail and be able to just make adjustments and fix those mistakes however needed. But if you never try, there's never going to be somebody to make those mistakes in order for the other man behind them to fix those mistakes. Sometimes you are the one that has to make those mistakes in order for the other people to learn. Sometimes it's you who has to fail for others so that others can achieve greatness. All right. And as men, we need to stop backing away from these roles of fatherhood or protector or provider, and we need to start stepping into them. We need to stop lying to ourselves and saying we're not good enough for it. All right. We were made for it. We were designed for it. We were designed to lead, protect, provide, to procreate, to be fathers, to be good, strong men. We were designed for that. And if we stop lying to ourselves and step up and actually do the things that we need to do, then this world would be a lot better place. Father absence would not be such a big thing in our society if men would actually step up and be good fathers, or step up and be fathers at all. All right, we wouldn't have single family homes or, people struggling if men actually took up the role of a provider and actually provided for, their family, for their kids, for, whatever it is. If you are always afraid of the role, if you're always scared of messing up, you'll never, ever take the initiative to even start in the first place. And if you never start in the first place, then nothing will ever get done, and no one will ever know how to do this or how to do that. But sometimes it takes you to start and for you to fail in order for others to be successful or for others to learn. We don't learn great things. We're not just given the knowledge of great things. We have to learn. We have to make mistakes. You can see this throughout history. Great generals, great priests, great saints, great people, everybody, those scientists before them, or priests before them, or generals before them have made certain mistakes. But it's because of their mistakes that they're able to learn and they're able to go on to become these great people. Greatness comes at a price, and everybody must be willing to pay that price, and everybody must be willing to do things necessary in order to be great. So stop lying to yourselves and actually step up and do the things that you need to do. Take on the roles that you need to, take on the roles that you are given. All right, number 2 is going to be, what is one thing that I am doing wrong that I could fix, and how could I fix it? So you must be able to identify the problem before you can solve it. You must be able to identify the sickness before you are able to diagnose it and give it the treatment necessary and able to cure it. Now you may be asking, how do I find the thing that I'm doing wrong so that I can fix it? And how do I fix it? Well, here. I think this is how you should go about to finding it. What's one thing in your life, or it may be multiple things in your life, that you are doing wrong or that you are failing at in life, but you are not learning from? And you keep making it and making it and making it and making it because you are not learning from those mistakes. What is that thing that keeps dragging you back down? All right. Now, this may be a relationship. This may be an addiction. This may be laziness. This may be a lack of discipline. What is it? What is that one thing in your life that you keep doing wrong and that you keep messing up? That one mistake or mistakes in your life that keep popping up, but you're not really learning from those mistakes. Now, you may not be learning from those mistakes because you like it in a way. There are sometimes the power of addiction is not really in the addiction. It's in the pleasure that we get from the addiction. And it feels good, the feeling that we get from it. All right. And we keep doing it not because we want to do it. It's because the dopamine or the feeling that we get, that rush, the excitement, whatever it is, we like that feeling. Our body likes that feeling. But afterwards, we have this terrible regret. So is that one thing in your life kind of like that addiction where you like the feeling of it, the rush, the certain moment of pleasure, and after, it's over and after it's gone, you have this regret? You probably do. But what is it in your life that's like that? And let's say it's a bad relationship. Let's say this is a mistake. Let's say maybe you've been in a relationship with them before and the relationship always ends badly because out of selfishness, or it's a relationship built on poor footings. But because you maybe enjoy being with this person, or because this person gives you this sort of excitement or this feeling, that you keep entering back into this relationship, but it's a bad relationship. It's that one thing in your life that you're doing wrong, that you're oblivious to, or maybe one thing that you're ignorant to. You want to stay that way because you enjoy it, but it's not good for you. So how do you fix this? Well, you simply, if the person is not good for your health, and the only reason why you are with them, and it is because, certain excitements or certain feelings that you get with them, and this relationship is built on poor footings, maybe one, you should try and strengthen the relationship, find out why it's a bad relationship, find out why it keeps falling apart, and fix it that way. Or if there's no hope in that, then you have to get out of the relationship because clearly it's not doing anything good for you. You have to figure out whether you're going to choose, your mental health, your success, and everything good, or if you're going to choose this bad one relationship simply because it gives you a thrill of excitement for a moment. Are you going to choose a lifetime, or are you going to choose a moment? All right. There are many different examples that I could give you, but this is one that I think is very common and very evident in our society. Relationships these days don't mean jack shit. But the reason for that is, one, this relationship is built on really nothing in the first place. And if it is built on not really the best things. And it's because they're lacking God and a lot of other things in their relationship, the center of the relationship. Now, I'm not going to give you a whole lecture on society and relationships and whatnot, but this is just something that it's crazy. And it's just like this example that I gave you. People are only with this person because they give them a thrill of excitement for a moment. But this relationship is on poor footing and it's built on sand rather than a sturdy base, and it keeps falling over, but they keep building it back up because, hey, I really like being with this person. I'm going to risk everything for this person. Now, it's all kind of stupid. And how you should fix it, you need to analyze, ask yourself questions like, is this good for me? Am I learning anything from this? Is this beneficial to me in any way? Am I helping the other person, or am I using, or am I harming the other person? These are questions that you need to ask yourself. How is this one thing in my life affecting me? How is it hurting me? Now, how can I learn from this mistake? Because the only way that you are going to actually fix this mistake is you need to actually learn from it. If you never learn from a problem, it will always remain a problem. But if you learn from the problem, if that problem then becomes the solution, the answer to whatever it is to move forward. So you have to do that. And if you're not doing that, you're going to just run around in circles and you're always going to be exactly where you started. Let's move on to the next question. The next question is, am I meeting my basic obligations and responsibilities? Now, as a man, I feel as if this is a very important question to ask yourself. All right. Now, you may be asking, what may be basic obligations, or what may be responsibilities? Well, what are some things that maybe you are put in charge of in your life? And what are the certain situations in your life that you are responsible for? Now, for example, for me, I am a 17-year-old high school student. I'm also a part of the Pulley program, the Marine Pulley program. I also have a job. And some of my basic responsibilities may be, I have to get my school done. I have to stay physically fit. I have to know my knowledge for the military. I have to work my job, but I'm also a son. I'm also a brother, which means I also have responsibilities at home, like my chores, like cleaning my room, like just those type of things. Also, as a brother, my responsibility is to make sure my family is okay, my sisters are okay, my siblings are okay. Make sure to help out around the house and to take care of my sisters and my dad and everybody who, is related to me or is put into my care. So my responsibilities as a man is my school, my the military program I'm in, making sure I'm in shape, taking care of my family, being a good son, being a good brother. And I have to ask myself, am I meeting those basic responsibilities? Now, everybody's situation is different. You may be a father. Well, your responsibility is to your kids, to your wife. Your responsibility is to, paying your mortgage, paying your bills. It's also making sure you maintain a job. Those may be some of your responsibilities as a father. Am I, as a father or a soldier or a son or a brother, am I meeting those basic obligations? Am I taking on those responsibilities, those roles that are given to me? And if not, what are some things that I can do to make sure I'm filling those proper roles, to make sure I'm fulfilling that obligation? Because if you're not fulfilling the obligation, if you're not taking on the responsibility, then the people around you and the things that you're put in charge of are going to fall apart, because you are, let's say, you are a piece of the puzzle. And if you are withholding that certain piece that you are, then the puzzle can't be complete without you. You see where I'm getting here? So ask yourself the question, am I meeting my basic obligations as a mother, as a sister, as a daughter, as a soldier, as a friend, as a businessman? Am I meeting those obligations? Am I taking on that responsibility? And if I'm not, what can I do to make sure I'm fulfilling those obligations and taking on the responsibility? All right, let's move on to the next question. The next question is going to be, could I be a better friend, parent, or partner? All right, now I'm going to take this one as kind of the friend aspect, since I'm not in a relationship and I'm not a parent. I'm also going to take this from as being a man perspective too. But let's start with, could I be a better friend? Now, this is a question I find myself asking a lot. Now, you can always be a better person. You can always be a better friend. Now, you guys know I'm very big on self-improvement and becoming the best you could ever be, and taking advantage and making sure your days count. And to be a reliable friend, you have to make sure that you're improving yourself day after day. Friendships are not a 50-50 relationship. It's a 100% each way. I always hate it when people are like, this is a 50-50 this is a 50-50 relationship. If you're in marriage, if you're, in any type of relationship, you should be giving 100% of yourself to the other person, and they should be giving back the same amount. Because here's the thing. When you are only giving so much of yourself and you're withholding so much more, then you are reducing the amount of friendship and the amount of love and the amount of care for each other. But if you give each other 100% of each other, and I'm not saying like in a sexual way, I'm not saying in, whatever it is, it maybe is in a sexual way if you are in marriage. Maybe it is like that if you're in a relationship. But for friendship, if you're not giving 100% of each other to each other, then you're withholding so much kindness. You're withholding so much truth and so much beauty within that relationship, because you're only giving so much of it. You need to give 100% of yourself within a relationship or within a friendship. Now, how does this apply to like friendships and stuff like that? Making sure that you are the best friend that you could ever be. I'm not asking you to be perfect. I'm almost asking, being perfect would be boring, because if you are perfect, there'll never ever be an opportunity for you to grow. There'll never be an opportunity for you to be better and to understand and to learn. If you're perfect, then you know everything already. If you're perfect, then you are already 100% the friend that you need to be. But the great thing about good friendships is that each person or the people within that friendship are always trying to strengthen each other and trying to become a better selves. And within that, because they are strengthening each other, they are able to strengthen their friend, and they're able to give back what their friend has given them. And within that, they can strengthen each other. And this also applies to marriage. This also applies to being in a relationship. This also applies to being a good man. Are you giving 100% of the role that you were entrusted? If you are a father, are you giving 100% of yourself to this role as fatherhood, or could you be a better father? If you are a son, are you giving 100% of yourself within this role of being a son, or could you be better? Could you be a better father? Could you be a better man? Could you be a better daughter? Could you be a better mother? Could you be a better friend? You got to ask yourself these questions, because there will always be time. There'll always be room to improve. There will always be a way that you can become better, and you can become stronger, and you can be a better person no matter what, until, you've reached the ultimate goal of heaven, where you will be made perfect and you will be made clean. We're broken people down here. And every single day we have to build ourselves up stronger until ultimately we can become the strongest us and the best 2.0 unmaxed version of ourselves. All right, let's move on to the next question. Next question is going to be, can I state that I'm happy with my career and that I believe it is improving? I think this is a really big one also. And I feel as if a lot of people, they have this regret of choosing a career that they thought would make them happy simply because it makes them a lot of money. But in the end, it just left them feeling empty and void. And one of the things that we must come to understand is, just because a job pays well doesn't mean that it's good for our mental health. Doesn't pay to our mentality towards life or to our situation with our families or whatnot. We can have a lot of money, but that money will not ultimately fill that void within our heart. It cannot be the key to our joy. Money can buy happiness, but money can't buy joy. Joy is an everlasting thing. Happiness is a moment. And a lot of people will spend their entire lives working a job that sucks in order to make a lot of money. I would much rather work a job that doesn't pay as well, but I am happy at, than a job that pays super well and I'm just absolutely miserable at. And I can say that I've actually done something like this. My previous job that I worked, it was a good job and it paid all right. It wasn't, the most fantastic thing in the entire world, but it got me by. I was, 15, 16 years old when I got my first actual job and wasn't just kind of like side jobs and whatnot, when I was actually employed at. And, at the time I was very excited for it. It was a very, very good job for me at the time. And a lot of people hadn't been given the same opportunity that I had been given, simply because of circumstances that, were placed in my life and whatnot. So I was very blessed in that way. But towards the end of the time that I was working this job, I wanted to leave. I decided to leave this job simply because it just wasn't really that anymore. It wasn't improving in any way. I wasn't improving anyway. And it was just boring and I was miserable there. I dreaded going to work every single day and it just wasn't good for me all around. And I was there for like 8 months or so. And I eventually had put in my 2 weeks. I was like, this is it. I'm finally going to do it. I went over to a different job, the job that I'm currently working at the moment. And I applied for that job. I got the interview and everything. And I can tell you 100% that I am much happier at the job that I'm currently working at than the job that I previously had. And I'm so happy that I had made the decision to leave my old job in order to go to the next job. It was time to move on. It was time to actually be at a place that valued me as a person and that I actually look forward to going to, that I actually enjoyed the people, the environment, that actually made me happier and better as a person. It was that time to make that type of change. And when I made that change, everything in that career field or that job was improving. I was actually genuinely happy at that job. I was moving up quickly. I was getting raises quickly. And at my last job, I hadn't gotten a raise until I had pretty much decided that I was going to quit, because of course they don't want to lose me because they were, short staffed at the time. And that was the last time I had gotten raised. But, my other job, I'd gotten a raise 2 weeks after being there. And I loved it. I love it still. And so many people are split between this decision of taking on a new job. They're so split between it simply because, this job pays less than the job that I'm currently working. All right, but how much do you value your mental health? How much do you value your career? How much do you value the things in life that you hold most dear to you? Because sometimes in life, we have to take a pay cut in order to see improvement in ourselves and in our careers. Don't spend your entire life working a job that makes you miserable simply because it makes you a lot of money. Work a job that makes you happy, one that improves your mental health, one that encourages your career, one that is constantly helping you improve, and within that job you are improving. Don't live your life full of regret when you turn 60, when you're retired, and you realize that you wasted your life doing something that you did not thoroughly enjoy or made you happy or helping you improve in your career or boost further yourself in your career field simply because you made a lot of money. That is not a way to live. It's not a way to spend your valuable time, not a way to spend your gifts and your talents in any way. Not the way to do it. So I want to ask you this question. Can you say that you are happy with your career and that you believe that it is improving, that you are improving? If not, then I think it's time for you to make that change. I think it's time for you to switch over to a new position. Let's move on to the next question. The next question is going to be, am I adding more to the world than I am taking? This is one for society, our modern society. It's just It's crazy out there. It's a world where it's a war out there. You just got to be careful because you may not make it out alive. And a lot of people are falling victim to the indoctrination that is being implemented in our schools, in our families, in every way, in our everyday lives and whatnot. And our society very much promotes the ideology of it's about me. Everything is about me. I deserve this. I deserve this. I deserve that. They promote self-entitlement. This idea of even though I may not have put in the work towards this thing, I still deserve a trophy and a participation award. And this is a very dangerous idea of thinking. It's one that I want to talk about in another episode, but this idea of thinking will lead to less people who are willing to put in the work, less people who are willing to be disciplined towards whatever goal that they're going towards. And in our society, it's about taking rather than giving. When did this role of, provider turn into this role of taker? This is all it is. Just robbing the world of gifts that you just do not deserve. It's robbing others of an opportunity. It's robbing others of the things that they actually deserve. And you must ask yourself this question: am I giving of myself? Am I giving of the gifts that I have been given by God? Am I using my talents to its fullest? But if I'm withholding my talents from others, I'm withholding my talents from the world, I'm just taking rather than giving. This is something also very important as men. As men, we are meant to be providers. We are meant to give not only of the things that we have, but also of ourselves. As men, we are meant to add and give to our society and give to our community. And we are meant to give to our families and the people around us. As men, we were designed to share our talents. We were designed to use them for good. We are designed to pour them into our society and into our world so that it may be prosperous and it may just flourish with life. But nowadays, men have steered away from this role of being a provider, and they've just have learned to destroy and to take away and to rob others of their gifts and of the opportunities that are for everybody, or the opportunities that they were given. We need to revert this back to the old ways where men were, providers, and men were giving, and men were caring, and men were presiding in society. We need to change that back. So ask yourself as an individual, ask yourself as a man, ask yourself as a brother, sister, wife, are you taking more than you are giving? Are you robbing others of opportunities? Are you robbing others of gifts, of their talents? If so, then learn to give. Learn to share. Learn to create rather than destroy. Let's move on to the next question. The next question is going to be, how am I treating my own body? How you treat yourself will determine how you treat others. And if you treat yourself poorly, then you're going to treat others poorly. We are meant to be strong. We are meant to be disciplined. We are meant to be structured. But if we let go of discipline, then we let go of everything, including our bodies. Our bodies, our minds, and everything is the most important thing that we have. It's the only thing that we truly own. We are our own selves. We own our body. This is nobody else's body. This is my body. But how you treat your body will be very crucial to how you live and how you go through life. In some of my past episodes, I've talked about fitness and the importance of health and improving your body and whatnot. And a lot of people have called me fat phobic and, intolerant to this or oblivious to these people. I'm not oblivious to those people. What I want for myself and for others is to be happy. And through health, you can achieve happiness. When you are healthy mentally, when you are healthy physically, when you are healthy in any other way, spiritually and whatnot, you can achieve happiness. Through health, happiness is attainable. I don't care if you look like Ronnie Coleman or Arnold Schwarzenegger or any of those. I really do not give a shit. All right. But what I want for you is to be healthy. I want you to be strong. This is also an important thing for men too. We are meant to be strong physically, not just mentally, but also physically. And through physical strength, we can achieve mental strength because it takes discipline to attain goals. And through discipline, we can achieve not only a strong body, but a strong will and a strong mind. So when we strengthen one area of our life, other areas of our life are affected. But when we strengthen our body, our entire self is affected in a very positive way. And in that way, being that we are a better, stronger, healthier version of ourselves. We are ready to take on those physical struggles of life. We are ready to take on those burdens and responsibilities that we are given in life, and we are able to hold them overhead because we are stronger. We're not only just stronger physically, but we are also stronger mentally. So treat your body right and live right. All right, let's move on to the next question. Next question is going to be, do I have a vision for the future and how am I going to pursue it? So at a young age, we are very highly discouraged to start planning our future. They always tell us, well, you're too young to plan out your future. You're too young to do this. You just need to live your life and everything. But I believe that there's no such thing as too young to start planning out your future. If you have a vision, if you know who you want to be, or if you desire this certain goal in life, pursue it. I'm so sick and tired of people always telling you, you're too young to do this. You're too young to start planning out your college. You're too young to, start thinking about the military. You're never too young to start planning out what you want in life. Because at a young age, okay, the earlier you know what you want in life, the better. Because especially at a young age, when you are younger, you have more ambition and you have more drive to go do things. And the older you get, if you keep putting it off, you're going to have less that fire in your soul, that fire inside of you to want to pursue whatever it is that you want to pursue. That's why a lot of the most successful people have known what they wanted in life. Whether that was simply as, I want to be the richest man alive. That could have been it. But it was desire and it was a passion that drove him to be that. But if you just wait and you keep putting it off, then that desire and that fire is going to slowly burn out. I remember the day that I had decided that I wanted to join the military, join the Marines to be more specific. I remember everybody telling me, because I was 13 at the time, I remember people always telling me, Raymond, you're too young to decide what you want. You're too young to decide whether to go in the military or not because, you're too young to join the military. But the one thing that people don't understand and didn't understand at the time was, even if I didn't join the military and even if I went on to do a different thing, I was still structuring my life in a way that would have made me successful. Because I was working out, I was eating right, I was studying up on this, I was altering my studies towards whatever career path that I wanted in the military. So even if I didn't join the military, I now have the tools necessary to pursue the career that is like the military, or the studies necessary to get me into a good college in order to pursue whatever career that I had wanted in the military. I had a backup plan. And this is the reality of like successful people in life. It's not about the destination. They always say life's not about the destination, it's about the journey. And I feel as if this is kind of true in a way. It is very true. Because the thing with successful people is that when you start at a young age and you have a vision for your life, you start altering your life to that goal. You start aligning your vision with the certain goal in life to get focused on it. And when you do that, you start changing your lifestyle. You adopt a new lifestyle, or you strengthen your current lifestyle. And you start doing the things necessary in order to achieve the goal that you are going towards. for me, when I decided to join the Marines, I started altering my life in a way that was very military-like style. All right. I started getting up at 4:30 a.m. to go work out. And then I would do my school and do my studies. And I picked up classes that were kind of in the intelligence field, because that was the field that I wanted to go into at the time. So I would do different intelligence and analysis and anything that I thought would get me the intelligence MOS in the Marines. And I started eating healthy. I started taking the initiative to change my body and to change my mentality in every single way that I could do. Anything that I could do to help me become the best Marine possible, I was going to do. This applies to anything in life. When you have a vision, you have to start executing on it. And when you execute, you know what you want, and you know the things that you have to do, and the things necessary in order to achieve them. But if you just wait and wait and wait and wait, you're running out of time. And those things that may have taken 5 years, now you're pushed back 5 years. When if you had started 5 years earlier, then you would be 5 years to where you need to be in the first place. So stop waiting to pursue different careers in your life, to pursue that goal in your life, to pursue this certain career in life. Stop waiting, because the longer you wait, the longer you will actually be pushed back from your success. I know people are always like, you're too young to do this, you're too young to that. There is not an age that you should or shouldn't be planning your life out. The earlier, the better. It gives you more time. It gives you more time to grow, gives you more experiences in life, and you'll ultimately become more successful at the end. All right, let's move on to the next question. The next question is going to be, how can I improve myself to the point where people around me are actually significantly benefiting from my actions? Now, I know I always talk about the importance of making sure you have people around you. You surround yourself with people who actually care about you, genuinely care about you. People that want your success, people that want your good mental health, people that care about you as a person. But there's a flip side to that coin too. Within that friend group, just like I talked about, giving 100% of yourself to your friends, you must also make sure that you are helping your friends to their success, to make sure that you are the person that genuinely cares about them, the person who wants their success, the person who wants their good whole well-being and whatnot. It can't just be, I surround myself with good people so that I can be a better person, but it also must be that I must help these people that I'm surrounded with also be the best version of themselves too. What actions am I doing that they are actually benefiting from? I'm not saying this in the sense of, they're taking advantage of you and, they're using you, whatnot. No, what actions are you doing that is helping them to become more successful in life? You must realize that your success is their success and their success is your success. And the more that you improve, the better version of yourself that you can become, the more that they can be successful, the more that you can be successful, and the more everybody becomes successful. Because just like in society, whereas if you take more than you are given, then eventually you'll just be kicked to the curb. Or eventually there will be a shortcoming, when that shortcoming will be from your end, and you'll be that missing puzzle, that missing link within that friend group. So make sure that as a friend, just how I talked about, what are things that you can do to become a good friend, make sure as a friend that you are doing those things. Make sure that you are, giving to your friend group, giving 100% of yourself to your friends. Make sure that you are actually doing things to become the best friend ever. So make sure you're actually doing those things. Let's move on to the next. Let's move on to the next question. The next question is going to be, what do I believe in? What are the values I want to spread and pass on? I talked about the importance of defining your values a few episodes back. And this is not only important, but also crucial if you want to live a life full of meaning and a purposeful, full life. That being said, you must ask yourself, what do you believe in? And do you actually believe in it? A lot of people will go their whole life only believing things that they are told. From a young age, we are told to believe this or that by our parents. A lot of people at a young age have maybe were raised in a certain religion, and as they grow up, they fall out of that religion because it wasn't something that they actually believed in, something that they made their own. And their entire life they're just told these things, that God exists, that God will forgive and God will do this and God will do that, but they don't actually go out and take it upon themselves to discover and engage in these things, to actually find out whether they actually believe these things. They never ask the question, do I actually believe in God? Do I actually believe in this? Do I actually believe in that? And this is what I think most commonly leads to atheism, is this, I'm told these things my entire life, but I never actually engage and take it upon myself to go and find these things. And when you are just kind of given everything in life, you're kind of just given the information in life, you can never truly grasp the concept of it. You can never truly understand it because you are just merely told these things, but you don't understand. But you don't actually understand. So you actually have to go out and you actually have to engage with the things that maybe that you're being told, or the things that you believe in right now that you are, losing grip of. In today's society, this is very much the problem. One of the biggest issues that we have is people simply not going out and actually finding this information and just listening and just willing to be given the information rather to actually look into it and see if it's actually factual. And let's say in the political atmosphere, this is one of the biggest problems, is because you turn on the news and they'll tell you anything. They'll tell you anything. And some people are so like, this is their only sorts of information that they truly believe in these things. And it's scary. And you try and talk and reason with these people, but since they're so caught up in this indoctrination, and that indoctrination has just rooted itself within their mind, that you just can't shake them. For 2 years, for 4 years, it's been about how bad of a person Trump is, and he's this warlord, and he's this homophobic, sexist, and everything like that. It's been that for 4 years. And some of these people truly believe this thing simply because they were told by this source that they trusted, but they never actually went in and dived into the subject and see if he worked actually any of these things. And this caused hate to him, towards him and all his followers, to the point where people actually wanted to kill them, where people actually started trying to kill him and his followers. They started calling them racist and everything. But when people actually had took the initiative to dive into this subject and to see whether he was these things, they found out he was none of these things. They said, wait, but this person has told me this my entire life. They told me that he was all this, he was that, but he's really none of this thing. He's actually the complete opposite, and he's actually a really good guy. When they actually took that information, they saw the light and their eyes were opened. They could actually see. The light finally shined through. They had been misinformed for so long that they were just blinded by these lies. So this is a problem that we have in our society, and there's so much other things too. And this is just one of the bigger issues that I see in our society right now. You must ask yourself whether you actually believe the things that you are being told, and you must go and you must find out for yourself whether you actually believe that or not. Because if you live your entire life simply relying on others to tell you the truth, you'll never be able to distinguish truth from lies. You'll never be able to distinguish that deceit, because you would just rely on others to give you the information that maybe that you are searching for or that you need. And it's very easy to be deceived that way if you aren't willing to go out and actually find that information for yourself. So ask yourself these questions. Go and find the answers. Don't just wait for people to give them to you. Go find the answers. It's the only way you'll actually be able to live and thrive in society. You won't be one of the few that is just blinded by these lies and this indoctrination, which is just very deeply rooted in our society, simply because people just aren't willing to go and find out the truth for themselves. Now, the truths that you hold dear to heart, the things that, maybe have been passed down from family to family, the values that are just close to your heart. What are some of those things that you would like to pass on to the generations to come? Maybe it's your children, and if you don't plan on, having children, whatnot, maybe it's to your friends or to your family, whatever. What are the things that you want to pass on and spread? For me, I want to pass on the knowledge in the things that I was given. All the things that I know about what it means to be a man. I'm not saying I know what it means to be a man, but the things that I've learned of, like, how to be a man, or how I've grown up to be a man, what developed, or what is currently developing me to become a stronger man. This is the reason why I started this podcast, as I wanted to pass the things that I've learned and the values that I've been given, the values that were passed down to me, to spread it to maybe the boys who didn't have father figures in their life, that didn't have somebody teach them how to be a man, that didn't have, this or that, or guidance, or the father figures necessary in order to develop to be a good, strong man. And I was very fortunate to have a father in my life. He may not be my biological father, but I was very fortunate to have that figure to lead and make those mistakes for me, so I didn't have to teach me the things in life to become more successful, become a stronger me. I had that opportunity. And now I want to give that to others. I want to give that to the other boys that were less fortunate than I was. So this is the reason why I started this podcast, and it's the reason why I continue to make these episodes, even if I lose my passion to do it. I have to do this in order for so that those men out there that don't have what I have don't fall into this pit of despair. All right, let's move on to the next question. This last question is going to be the most important question that I've talked about here. All right, and this last question is going to be, what am I fighting for? A lot of people think that life is meaning and there's really no true purpose to it. A lot of people think that all life is that we are born to just simply die. And many people live their life that way. And it's very sad to see. But when you don't have something to live for, you don't have something that you would die for, something that you would give your life for, then that's all it is. You will live the most meaningless life ever. But if you have something that drives you every day, if you have something that gets you over that hill, maybe you're stuck, but that one thing that you live for, that thing will get you through life. It's your reason for life. It's your why. What is that one thing that you are fighting for? Maybe it's your family. Maybe it's your beliefs. Maybe your beliefs are under attack. And the only way that you can keep them alive is that if you keep fighting every single day and you win every single battle, even if that means giving up your life. Many of the greatest people have died fighting for the things that they believe in. It was the thing that they lived for. If you go through life without a reason to live, if you go through life without something that you would give or lie your life down for, then you will never truly know what it means to truly live. You'll never truly know what it means to be alive. And the reason why I always talk about, the importance of defining your beliefs and finding your values is because I don't want you to live a meaningless life. I want you to have something that drives you every single day. Have something that you fight for, something that you truly believe in. And it's also a reminder to myself. It's also so I don't forget the things that I truly believe in. It's also that I don't let go of my values. Also that I actually constantly am searching for the truth. I don't want to live a meaningless life. That is the biggest fear in my life, is to look back and see that my life was for nothing. It was wasted. That's why, I talk about making every single day count and not just counting down your days. The importance of making sure that you live a life full of meaning and purpose. Make sure that you make an impact on society, one for the better, one that will help society thrive. Make sure that you are giving to your community. Make sure that you are constantly searching for the truth. Make sure that you are improving yourself for your friends. All these things that I've talked about have ultimately come down to this. These questions that I've talked about will help you find the thing that you are fighting for. Once you get yourself right, once you get your life right, you can go through life without any fear of wasting any moment, because you've ultimately spent your life improving yourself every single day in helping the others around you. That is not a wasted life at all. That is a life full of a meaning, a life full of giving, and a life full of purpose. Don't ever waste your life sitting around watching TV all day. There are many people who do that. There are many people who have passed away, and I can tell you that they've probably regretted their life because they just simply wasted it, counting down days. It's what you do with your days that count. It's how you live that count. It doesn't matter how many days there are in a year. It matters what you are doing within that year, what you are doing within that second. What are you doing right now? You have to make sure you're living every single life to the fullest, because you may not get a tomorrow. People always talk about tomorrow, tomorrow, tomorrow. I'm going to do it tomorrow. I'm going to do this tomorrow. I'm going to start tomorrow. You may not get tomorrow. St. Paul tells us to live every single day like it's our last. How would you live your last day? What would you give in your last day? How would you treat people in your last day? That's how you need to live every single day. Live it like your last. Know what you fight for. All right, guys. This is going to wrap up the episode for today. Thank you guys for joining me here on this podcast. If you guys found any of the things that I've talked about, any of those things useful to you, I ask you to, simply pay a simple price, and that price is to spread the word about this podcast. There's a price for everything, and my fee to you is going to be to spread this word, spread this podcast, share with as many friends that you know, send it to all your people. We're really trying to grow this community. I want people to be a part of this. This isn't about, getting my name out. It's about becoming part of a community that's striving to better themselves, to go on to better the world. This is what it's truly about. So I ask you guys to share this podcast, to follow my pages on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. I have my podcast distributed on other accounts, but support this podcast in every single way. That's all I ask. I don't ask you to pay me any money. I don't ask you to give me any loans or anything like that. All I ask is that you share this podcast. But thank you guys for joining me here on this podcast. Thank you guys for supporting this podcast. Thank you guys for just being a part of this, listening to my episodes. If you don't listen to my episode, you just support the page. Thank you. This podcast would not be possible without you. I would not sit here every single day if it weren't for you guys. If you guys didn't love the content that I put out, if I didn't actually feel like I was giving out quality content, I wouldn't do this for an hour. This episode is almost an hour long. This is going to be the longest episode that I've ever recorded. I've just spent an hour of my life when I could be doing something else, like watching TV or something. I spent it here with you guys, and that is very important to me. So thank you guys for everything. Thank you guys for all the things that you do, and just thank you. I'm very touched by the things that you guys send me. I'm very touched by the questions that you guys ask me. It helps me feel like I'm doing something and fulfilling my purpose here on earth. So that's really cool. But in the meantime, you guys already know what you guys got to go do. Go know better, be better, and do better. Go out there and change the world. Go ask yourself these questions. What are ways that you can be a good friend? What are you doing to improve yourself so that others around you are actually benefiting from it? How can you be a better friend? Ask yourself these questions every single day, and I'm telling you, you guys will live a full life. You guys will be able to help others, strengthen yourself, and strengthen the world. Go on and change the world. You guys already know what you guys got to go do, so I trust you to go do it. I believe you guys can go do that. And until next time, see you guys on another episode.